almost exactly 24 hours since this river peaked. Still quite a bit of water flowing, but now the old foundation is finally visible again over there by a cluster of logs. 24 hours post Hurricane Helene, and roughly exactly 24 hours since my house floated off its foundations or was battered by trees, what have you. Yeah, only to be totally submerged at some point. It's insane how high the water got up. Now I can appreciate stories I was told as a kid by the elders about the flood of 1916. There are huge sand dunes on some of the bottomlands here in the Lower Green. Total devastation. Many houses were washed away upstream. While the bridge still stands over the Green River Cove, see the utter devastation wrought upon Woodard's Cove campground in Tubing. Many of their buses were inundated, one even flipped, and all their buildings washed away. The house is still there, at least. You can see a lot of the riverbank is not. Saturday, 24 hours after the big storm, and I plan on hiking down to the lower bridge. On a rather high note, I found my journal for this upcoming year. So I haven't lost all my research, and now I'm writing in some pages about the Great Flood of 2024 that might be called someday, who knows. So I'm going to wander down to the lower bridge in the Green River Cove and assess what's going on with the road, and well, if that bridge is there, try to get an idea when I may or may not get out of here. Look at all this sand in addition to the timber. It reminds me of the stories I heard about the bottomlands being covered in feet of sand after the Great Flood of 1916. This is but one small example. There are other fields covered in sand there. And there's a few little places in the Green River Cove it still look a bit pristine. This is the high ground. There's my tool shed. I don't know how much it's intact or if it's even right side up, but it's stranded on the edge of the game lands. Be nice to recover some of my tools. This is the high water mark. As I pan over, you'll be able to see how far down in the valley the river is. That is a lot of water to fill up that whole gorge. Huge. And it has really changed the river. Big bend in the river just before the church. There's a huge pile of debris, including people's property and lots of timber. The water was really high, but didn't quite get on the road here. It's been 24 hours post-hurricane, or the peak of the surge through the green, and the loss of my home and all my possessions. Well, some of my thoughts, some of my mind. I don't know where I'm going from here, and even if I can recover things, I don't even know where I could store them. Never been quite this situation, but I truly feel homeless at the moment. I'm really looking forward to wandering Latin America, but I do have a bit of concern because I might have a lot less reason to come back. Looking up into the game lands, looking upstream at Cove Creek, it really did roar and it scoured this property again. Fortunately, the owner removed all his property of value before the storm. And here you see some of the property of the former tubing companies. It's been scoured, and in this case, it's gone. Looking upstream, it's all their outbuildings have been removed. Here, a lot of the earth has also been removed. I don't think the attempt to armor the shore turned out well. I think, if anything, the hydrology of that and hydraulics it created caused a lot of damage and moved a lot of sand off the property. There's a lot of water moving through here. Some of it was very likely local, as in there's a creek just over there near a few of the lucky buildings that survived the flood. But you could tell a whole lot of water was moving through here. You see it washed out the road big time. The river is probably flowing through here, obviously, as well as local water runoff. It was really intense at the peak of the storm when it more than doubled its flow in very short order, I would say in 20 minutes from my observations. It's impossible to overlook the power of the water. Look how it just rolled up the asphalt and tossed it to the side as it carved its new channel. Pieces of the outbuildings from the tubing company downstream, and lots of PFDs, or you folks might call them life jackets, and the ATM machine. That wire was moving. These objects don't float, especially that asphalt. And here I can see even more debris from the tubing companies. Lots of life jackets, so maybe they'll be able to recover some. This beach, while it was scoured and there's a lot of sand piled up on now, did pretty good. At least they still have soil left. Oh, but they lost all their pole buildings and outbuildings down there. But what really matters is still up on the hill. Their campground looks pretty solid. Here at Green River Adventures on the river, they have lost their boat shack or building, which was really nice, but the foundation is still there. So I'll be able to rebuild pretty easy. Kind of like their low impact approach to their construction methods. Apparently Little Cove Creek was really cranking. And I think there's another channel that's larger than before on the other side of this island. This is called Stair Step Rapid on the lower green. The water's still pretty high compared to normal. I see even more life jackets and property of the tubing company scattered about. There's bright orange and yellow ones, and maybe some are even Green River Adventures, I'm not sure. Anyway, hopefully these people can salvage some of their property. So here's another high water mark just below stair step. And look how big this gorge is and how deep it is. Look down there. All of this, all the way across to the other side of the island, over there by Little Cove Creek, there's another channel way over there too. It's an enormous amount of waters coming down, although Cove Creek and Little Cove Creek were both contributing to the flow levels. You see even more sand down here. So I'm standing, obviously, on top of the high water mark on a sandbar, so this was definitely inundated, and I can see life jackets strewn all about. Lots of bright colors, a lot of new gear. Local family told me the high water mark was the black line on this wildlife sign here. And looking at the mud, seems to me that they are probably correct. Here you can really see how wide the river was as it divided and probably went over this island in the middle. Look what the force of the water did to the edge of the pavement. You can only imagine how fast this was moving and how much stuff probably went downstream through here. How many people's dreams and lives washed away down this river. So I found my boat shed. It is turned on its side. This is the game land spot that's made for the handicap. There's a permanent blind for them. It's wheelchair accessible. I've located both my cargo containers. I'm hopeful I can at least salvage some of my kayaks. The bottom of the cargo container looks intact. And how can I tell? Well, it's not right side up. So now I gotta come up with a plan, figure out how I can get some stuff out of there safely. Right, just downstream of Jacob's Ladder on the lower green. Things don't look too hugely changed here. However, it looks like Laurel Branch might not have washed out. There is some undercutting of the road structure downstream. And this is roughly where the low water bridge to a cannery was once. There's still some historic rebar and iron left in the riverbed and some stones to really give you an idea where I'm talking about. And yeah, there is some devastation here at Laurel Branch. The river looks much wider here at the surf wave. Quite a bit of water going through it, but it's definitely changed. This is Laurel Branch, and I might add culvert appears to be dammed up. So, some interesting tidbits. This roadbed that you see that's on top is the latest. You can see the layers of crush and run and other fill and bigger fill. But then if you look down, you can see some old red clay. That's where the original roadbed was in my youth. That washed out 20 years ago or so. When they rebuilt it, well, they made the road higher. Apparently it paid off. Here is the lower bridge. It seems intact. But yes, there is damage to the roadbed. The bridge isn't overly covered in trees, but there is some action on the other end. But looking down here, looks a little bit crazier. It is possible, be like Ninja Warrior, to climb up that slab and get your fingers back up here. Getting down would be pretty easy. Getting back up be a little more difficult. There's more gear still strewed all the way down, probably into Lake Adger. Just for the record, I'm not suggesting doing this, but I'm pretty sure I can ascend back up the way I'm going down. So I'm gonna give it a shot. All in all, the lower bridge looks pretty stable. And other than a lot of earth moving, shouldn't be hard to reconnect. This very well could be my formerly rented propane tank. Oh yeah, I guess I won't be refilling that anytime soon. And sadly, someone's kayak died a hideous death. It's got a big split in it and has some debris sticking out. This inflatable may have come all the way from Wilderness Cove. I'm not sure. Devastation just keeps going. There's a lot of mud and silt in the road below the second bridge. You can see it is muddy. Not that bad. Hasn't even gone mid-cap yet. But there is some serious undermining the road here. This will also need a little bit of work. See, there's quite the log jam here. A lot of people lost probably everything they had. That is Big Rock, and there is a whole lot of silt and debris on top of the ROC parking lot. Quite a good ways past Big Rock. The river overtopped the road, left a lot of silt and some sand. He'd say it's a pretty big mess even here on the way out. I do not believe I have made it to the edge of the game lands, but it's really hard to say if the sign's even left. I think I might see a sign up there. Maybe I'll try to push up there and see what it says. Okay, I doubt you can read it, but the narrow bridge sign is just up the road. I can see it's within about 100 meters, 100 yards for you gringos. Apologies to any of you folks that are worried. But hey, I got no access to the internet. I have no signal from Verizon. I have no way to communicate. And thusly, I've been off grid. This is like probably 30 hours after the peak of the hurricane. And there's no sign of getting out of here anytime soon. Yeah, I know you're hearing this probably days later. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. I will try to get some info out. If any of you guys would like to show some love, hit the Venmo. I would really appreciate any love you share at all, from big to small donations. Every little bit will help. Hey, I got nothing left now, so who knows? I'm going to try to do the best I can, see what the future holds. There's got to be another great adventure. I survived for it. The Cavalry is on the way. See it right behind me. Yeah, I'm real muddy. It's been deep. He says more coming, and he's got a track hoe with a blade on the front, a real excavator. Oh, that last one I crawled through, which was pretty miserable, especially in knee-deep mud, is being dealt with one day after the hurricane here in the Green River Cove, at the very edge of the Green River game lands. It looks like a little bit more help has arrived. It's one of the plow trucks. They say more Eastern divisions are on the way to help and chip in. And attempt to get back to the homestead or what's there left of it, and let my loved ones know that help is on the way. There's also a motor grader on the way. So yeah, help really is on the way. It's gonna be a bit messy. I'm gonna be slopping through some more mud to get back home. And yeah, you guys are watching this on YouTube, but my loved ones down the cove will really enjoy getting to see this, and maybe it'll pick up their spirits. It's been quite the day. 6 miles one way, and it included climbing, doing sketchy things, and slopping through mud for a quarter mile up to my knee. By the way, I thumbed a ride in this really cool four-wheeler. They're currently working on cutting their way through. This is the wonderful thing about living out in the country in the Blue Ridge Mountains. We come together. It ain't just waiting on DOT, but hey, at least they're on the way too. I also just learned that Pottshoals Powerhouse is a loss itself, as is Pottshoals Road to it. So that is chilling. I'm sure the whole boater community mourns this. Follow the rain, maybe the green race will have natural flow. We'll see. I hope there can be a green race.
I need rednecks, right?
Oh yeah, hey, introduce yourselves.
Jake with Precision Grading.
Stefan.
Awesome. So if you need some grading, you know who to call. He's not scared of nothing.
No, we're not.
That ride from those wonderful people definitely helped. It's not quite 5 o'clock as I start walking from the lower bridge back up to my homestead, or piece of dirt at this point. And well, it's real close to the upper bridge. So I think I'll make it before dark. And if I don't, I have some battery for flashlight.